A very good morning to everyone. Welcome to Funky Rainbow's Big Little Book Bazaar. It's such a pleasure to have two wonderful Indian Sign Language interpreters with us at this show because this is a really special bazaar that is going to, facilitate facilitate the winners of the Big Little Book Award 2020. It has been such a pleasure to collaborate with the Tata Trust, team, with the Parag team, to put this bazaar together and, bring the winners of the BLBA 2020 to all of you this Saturday morning. Sorry, one sec. I seem to need to check my mic. Hold on 1 second. It's USB audio. I need to do codec. Is it USB audio codec? Yeah. And that's done. There was something about my mic setting that had a problem, but like I said, it's been such a pleasure to collaborate with Parag, an initiative of the Tata Trust, to bring to you the winners of the Big Little Book Award 2020 at this bazaar. Because of COVID and the pandemic, they were able to announce the awards online, and we are absolutely delighted that we are able to do that. We are doing the first event with the two beloved winners of the BLBA, Subhadra Sen Gupta and Rajiv Aip, at our bazaar this morning. And of course, we have to send out a huge, shout out and word of thanks to, Parag, from the Tata Trust again, because they have absolutely been so supportive of all the initiatives that we have taken to bring these writers out here, to bring the writer and illustrator here at our bazaar. They have really, supported this ISL initiative because, as we all know, Parag has produced a lot of books on, disability and children with disabled protagonists, and have, worked tirelessly with many publishers to make inclusive books possible. In a similar vein, they have absolutely come forward and supported all the mad ventures and adventures that we want to undertake in the course of this bazaar. And a big shout out from the entire team at Funky Rainbow goes out to the Parag team. Thank you so much for doing this for us. Lovely to see friends old and new here at the bazaar. Vijay Lakshmi saying hi. Avyukt Nair saying, good morning. I'm super excited today. Yes, we are super excited today as well. Before we start off, I do want to say that, we tried quite hard to have Subhadra on video this morning, but there were some technical glitches at our end which we were not able to resolve. So we're going to have her up on audio this morning and doing all the big little fun things that we have planned to do. So you may not be able to see her, but you will definitely be able to hear her, and that's what matters. Arundhati Nath, a very good morning to you. So nice to listen to you once again. You say, what a pleasure that you're here at the bazaar. We are delighted to see you here as well. So like I said, the focus of this bazaar is entirely the Big Little Book Award. I'm going to, read to you just a small segment about what the, premise behind this wonderful award for creators of children's books, is. It says, over the last 2 decades, a handful of authors, illustrators, and publishers have attempted to give voice to Indian children's literature with stories that talk to young readers about who they are and help them navigate a multicultural and multilingual environment. These authors and illustrators have attempted to balance the traditional with the contemporary to reflect the Indian reality in content, in visuals and production. They have given us stories that are not didactic but layered and sensitive, illustrations that fight gender and caste stereotypes and are inclusive and bring humor and fun into books, and essentially books that make for great reading. That is, the whole premise between the big little behind the Big Little Book Awards, which honors excellence in children's literature. We are again, at Funky Rainbow, all about promoting Indian children's literature, helping people, children and adults discover books, the wonderful variety of books that are available in the Indian children's publishing context. And so we feel this meeting, of minds has been one of our most exciting collaborations ever. What I'm going to do today is recommend a clutch of books. The Big Little Book Awards have been given out for the last 4 years, and I'm sure many of you are going to be familiar with the winners of the awards in the years that have gone past. I'm going to recommend some of their books and then move on to the winners of the BLBA 2020. As always, our website, www.funkyrainbow.com. Please do click on that link. You'll find a menu option that says Buzzaar. Click on the option that says Buzzaar. There'll be a drop-down menu that comes there, and there will be a tab there that says Big Little Book Awards. There are countless books in this bazaar, and this one being our last bazaar of this season feels so lovely for the whole team to be saying season 1, and then we're moving to season 2. Amrita Goswami, you say good morning, lovely to see you here. It's so exciting. We have put in so many books into this bazaar. Of course, all the award winners as well, writers and illustrators, prolific writers and illustrators, all of them. So there are lots of books to discover in the course of this bazaar. We're only going to be able to speak about a very limited number of them because we've got an action-packed session with our guests lined up for you. So for those of you who are interested in the books, do check out the website. There are several books that would interest you and your children up there. And should you be interested in any of the specific titles, do consider picking them up from Funky Rainbow. Asha Nehmia saying good morning and waiting for the action. Yes, it's always all action at Funky Rainbow's book bazaars. So yes, without further ado, I'm going to get on to recommending some books, and we will go back to the first year of the BLBA Awards, which is 2016. Sham's going to bring a visual up on the screen. Which is to tell you the winners of the 2016 awards. Now, the lovely thing that the BLBA has done is that every year they give out, one prize. I mean, they choose one Indian language where they honor, an author for his or her outstanding contribution to Indian children's literature. And 2016's award went to, two people who are big favorites. And I know many of you are huge fans of the two of them whose, images are up on the screen. It was the year showcased Marathi literature, and the winner was none other than Madhuri Purandare. We just absolutely love Madhuri Purandare's work and have helped Malika Ravikumar, you're saying good morning. So happy to see a sign language interpreter too. Thank you so much for noticing that. A big shout out goes to our two ISL interpreters, Saurav and Sarah, and we thank them for enriching our bazaar this way. Nalini Sorensen saying, hi, Vidya, Sham and Muthu. Delighted to see you here, Nalini. Delighted that we've been able to make the bazaar inclusive. And again, a shout out to the Tata Trust, for making this possible. So Madhuri Purandare, of course, winning, it for lifetime achievement, in Marathi literature. And I have, like I said, we've got all of Madhuri Purandare's books up at our bazaar, but I'm going to recommend two. And in this bazaar, we're not picking we're not picking what are the most popular works or books that we've already introduced you to so many times across the 6 months that we've been doing our bazaars. Avyuk says we have her books and they are wonderful. Sugar Tata, sure, who doesn't remember Sugar Tata, really, right? Yum, yum. And I do know both Avyukt and Ameya Nair just love Madhuri Purandare's books. So we're going to recommend a few that we have not had a chance to showcase. By no means a reflection of best works, just favorites at Funky Rainbow that we thought we'd talk to you about. This one, such a wonderful book by Madhuri Purandare, meant for parents and teachers, called Picture Reading, which is it's a resource book. It's a resource book that helps you as an adult use picture books with young children. What is lovely is that, I loved Madhuri ji's introduction to the book, where she says education is no longer confined to textbooks, and our children need to have access to other books that that they should be reading, and that we need to introduce them to. And, because, textbooks alone don't suffice in the holistic development of a child, here is a resource that she has created that helps adults teach children the importance of both the written word and of visuals. It's a fantastic resource, really, both written and illustrated by Madhuri Purandare. And as I was looking for it this morning, one of the points that she put in her introduction really struck me. It says, another advantage of using this book while studying at home, and that's become such a reality in this COVID year. Another advantage of using this book while studying at home is that all the members of the household can participate as much as possible in the child's learning. They can share their experiences, their observations, and they can convey their, verbal and visual vocabulary to the child. You can see, lots of information over here about using this wonderful resource book, whether it is for preschool children, that is children who cannot yet read and write, or whether it's for children in the grades of, 1 to 2, and even children in the grades of 3 to 4. Madhuri ji has given us some excellent tips on how to improve your child's, word power, and primarily geared to reading more effortlessly. You can see the book is peppered with wonderful illustrations, all of which adults can use with children and do fun activities around. We have, rarely had a chance to recommend this book. So this is one of our recommendations for, Madhuri's book, Madhuri Purandare's book. This one published by Jyotsna Prakashan, priced at 120 rupees. Shantanu Datta Gupta saying, hey, funky gang. Hey, happy to see you here, Shantanu. Soumya Sri Hari says, good morning, Vidya. Thank you. We got Madhuri Purandare's Yash series for Number Naga, and our children have loved them. Haripriya Batula saying, love all of her books. We just love it that so many of you love these books. Sandhya Rajagopal, need to start building a new library at this rate. My list is growing. That's precisely why we do what we're doing, Sandhya. Nandini Nair saying, hello, Vidya Sham Muttama. What a pleasure to see you here this morning, Nandini. We know, the winner of this award is, somebody who's really, really dear to your heart. Proma Basu Roy, a big shout out to her, ladies, because she was one of those people from the Parag team who has facilitated this whole, event with Funky Rainbow. Love this book. You say picture reading is one of the best. It indeed is. Our next recommendation of Madhuri ji's is Lalu the Cat, and it's the sweetest story ever. It's about two children, Neelu and Pilu, who pamper Lalu silly. If one gives him a spoon of rice and a bit of milk, the other one promptly gives the cat 2 spoons of rice and 2 spoons of milk. 1 slice of bread, then 2 slices of bread. What happens to Lalu the cat? Well, he becomes a fat, lazy, and content cat, just the kind of cats that we love. Madhuri, Purandare has illustrated it in her lovely, charming style. And this book we would suggest for older readers, for children above the age of 7 years. It's got a clutch of stories that revolve around Lalu the cat. Again, published by Jyotsna Prakashan and priced at 80 rupees. And of course, I have to say that it's remarkable that she insists that her books are first published in Marathi, making them accessible to readers in Marathi. Avyukt saying, I have to tell Amma about this. Indeed, you have to tell your Amma about this book, Avyukt. It's remarkable that she publishes, them in Marathi first, so that, children who read in Marathi have, access to her wonderful books first. Happily for us, they're all translated and available as well, and we are certainly richer for the experience. The BLBA also, besides an author from one language, who they felicitate, they also pick the illustrator for an illustrator every year for a lifetime achievement award. And in 2016, that award went to an illustrator that I grew up looking, whose pictures, sort of really were part of my childhood as well, Atanu Roy. A big shout out to Atanu Da, whose wonderful illustrations have illumined many, many a childhood. The 2 books of Atanu's that we have to recommend for you today. And like I said, we're just picking 1 or 2 books because there are just so many, many of them to focus on. So please do look at our website and go to the tag that says the Big Little Book Award. All the other books of these writers and illustrators will also be available there. I'm going to quickly recommend Atanu's books before, Sarah moves on and Saurav comes onto the screen. This one, which I've spoken about in several bazaars, Echopotamus, is an absolute scream about a hippo that hiccups so strongly that transported from the jungles of Africa right to a jungle here in India. That's Havasi, the hippo, and Atanu's charming madcap illustrations are surely going to make every child and every adult giggle nonstop. This one published by Katha, priced at 140 rupees. The other book, Haripriya Batula saying the Giji Gadus and the Fireflies is one of my favorites. It indeed is. It is in our bazaar. We've not got that many copies of it at the moment, and we have showcased it in a couple of other bazaars. Jyoti Narayan saying, I'm a big fan of Atanu Roy, love Giji Gadus and the Fireflies. It's right up there in our bazaar. The other book of Atanu's, that Atanu has illustrated is this one, written by Anita Nair, the Puffin book of magical Indian myths. Absolutely breathtaking illustrations, these large spreads that really, power-packed illustrations they are, which bring alive, this fantastic world of gods, demons, and, making this book a complete treasure trove to enjoy. You can see the attention that Atanu has paid to detail in these stunning illustrations in this anthology, which is the Puffin Book of Magical Indian Myths. There are at least 12 stories about different kinds of myths about, how Surya, the sun god, got married and his wife just couldn't bear the heat and decided to run away. And, a little dwarf king who who manages to conquer a demon. Lots of mythological stories, all of them enhanced by Atanu Da's stunning illustrations. This anthology, published by Penguin, priced at 599 rupees. We will move to the next, interpreter, ISL interpreter, because, we have a 20-minute slot for each one of them, and we'll wait for Saurav to come on screen. Thank you. And it's lovely to see you here, Saurav. Good morning, and wonderful to have you here doing our ISL interpretation. Thank you. In 2017, the BLBA focused on Bangla literature, on Bengali literature, and the author who won the award was Nabnita Dev Sen. Now, an outstanding writer, so beloved all over the country for her contributions, to Bengali literature. She has a few children's books, and one of them that we have at Funky Rainbow is called Ranjans Tale. Written by Nabnita Dev Sen and illustrated by Prairie Roy, who won the BLBA, for her lifetime, for her contribution to Indian children's publishing, and the lifetime achievement for best illustration that year went to Prairie Roy. What is Ranjan's Tale all about? Well, it's about a young boy called Ranjan who simply can't understand anything of mathematics. But give him a recipe and he is just a master cook. But what happens? Ranjan's parents are understandably concerned. My God, here's a boy not interested in math, not interested in science, not interested in anything but cooking. What do Ranjan's parents do? What does Ranjan do, more importantly, and where do his cooking skills take him? This slim chit of a book, published by Ekalavya, supported by Parag, priced at 70 rupees, is a charming story of self-discovery. And written by, it's the only book by Nabnita Dev Sen that we have at Funky Rainbow at the moment. And in 2017, again, the illustration award going to a creator, an illustrator whom we so deeply admire at Funky Rainbow, Prairie Roy. Now, Prairie, I think so many of you have, seen several books that she has illustrated. There's a certain luminosity to her illustrations that just bring children's books alive. And we have in focus, one of our favorite books by Prairie, Bulbuli's Bamboo. We've had many children in this office, Muttama's children, Sham's, son, all growing up enjoying Bulbuli's Bamboo by turn. What is Bulbuli's Bamboo about? The book by Meeta Bordole and illustrated by Prairie Roy is about a little girl who's called Bulbuli, who sleeps on a bamboo bed and wakes up to sit on a bamboo bench next to her bamboo bed. And then she drinks hot soup made with tender bamboo shoots, sitting on the bamboo bench next to her bamboo bed. You've got it. You've got how wonderfully, this repetitive story about what Bulbuli likes to do in all things bamboo, absolutely stunningly brought alive by Prairie Roy's gorgeous illustrations. And it takes us to the northeast of India, introducing us to a region that we know very little about. And also very nicely about introducing us to the, how versatile bamboo is as a material. But for young readers, it's the rhythm, it's the cadence, it's the sounds. It's the repetition that really thrill them, as do Prairie Roy's wonderful illustrations. I'm going to show you this fantastic spread, which is all about Bulbuli's Bamboo World. This one, we'd recommend for 5+-year-olds and priced at 150 rupees.
So, okay, we would have returned from the northeast now.
Muttama says, if the world had been normal, we would have returned from the northeast. There was a trip lined up for us to take, all our books and travel to the northeast, keeping fingers crossed and hoping that we'll do it in the new year. another book of Proities. And like I said, we've recommended several of her fantastic books across bazaars in the last 6 months. There's this one, which I think we've not had a chance to showcase, called Unhappy Moon, written by Saras and illustrated by Proiti. What is this book about? Well, when the sun is out every day, people are doing everything. But when the moon comes out, they all promptly go to sleep. Abhijit Sengupta, it says, I'm so impressed by the sign language by Saurav. Congratulations. Thank you so much, Abhijit. It means a lot coming from you. And congratulations to our young ISL interpreter. We are delighted that he's here this morning. This one, like I said, and of course, when the moon comes out in the morning, when the moon comes out at night, everybody is fast asleep, bar a few people at Funky Rainbow and several other owls, I hope, out there, because it has been a largely sleepless night for the team out here. Now, what does the moon want to do? She wants to get noticed. Jyoti Narayan saying, Ismat's Eid is another Prairie Roy favorite. It's absolutely a wonderful book and up there in our bazaar recommendations. So what happens? The moon decides to go off on a journey. She decides she's going to shine and shimmer and wax and wane. And soon what happens is people are singing songs and writing poems about her. There's one stunning spread. There's just a certain luminosity to Proiti's illustrations that just bring these books alive for young readers and for all of us as well. There's one of the phases of the moon that she has made, which we just absolutely love. Such a lovely way to tell a story, but also throw in some excellent information about the natural world. So this is one by Prairie Roy, meant for 6+-year-olds, priced at 175 rupees. So that was 2017. In 2018, the Big Little Book Awards focused on Kannada literature, and Nagesh Hegde, a pioneering writer in the Kannada publishing scene, not just for children but writing in magazines and contributing to newspaper articles, won the award. Now I think we've tried quite hard to get his books. Some of them are available in print, and we hope we will have them in the new year. But many are actually not available either in Kannada or in translation, which means, this is a gap that, it would be lovely if publishers came forward to fill this gap of making literature in, from our regional languages available to readers everywhere. And we do know that the Parag Trust does that. There was a lovely, anecdote. I was reading up about Nagesh Hegde yesterday, and, somebody asked him what was his most memorable experience as a writer. And this is something that he said in an interview, and that interview is up on the Parag site. He says, a herpetologist who was praising his work, who was, talking on a public stage about his work, once, while he was praising his work on a public stage, a herpetologist once unexpectedly handed me a freshly captured cobra while praising my writing to the onlookers. I could neither handle the big angry snake nor show my jittery feelings to the public. I consider it as one of my most treasured experiences as a writer, although it was a very terrorizing one. Look at the gamut of experiences that writers have access to. We really hope in the coming year, we will have Nagesh Hegde's books in Kannada and, if available in translation, on Funky Rainbow's shelves. The very same year, another wonderful, wonderful creator who is much loved by so many of us in the children's writing space, Nina Sabnani, went on to win the lifetime achievement for her illustrative work. We do know Nina's work, which encompasses, I mean, fabric, mixed media, collage, various artistic traditions. We do know how popular it is with readers, young and old, and how she has brought a distinctly, Indian sensibility that introduces our craft and art forms into her illustration. And we all, of course, do know Mukund and Riaz, we do know My Mother's Sari, but the books that we are focusing on today, a little bit different from the ones that we're always, highlighting. There's, the A for Ajrak book as well. This one is called A Beel Story. What is it? It's an origin myth about Beel art and how, Nina Sabnani, in just her brilliant manner, it's written by Sher Singh Beel, a Beel tribal who collaborated with Nina to put together the story. And much like a lot of our tribal literature, what happens is that the messages of conservation, the thirst for rain and water conservation, absolutely woven in fabulously into the book. Why is that message so important? Because Sher Singh Beel, who lives in the dry, western and central parts of India where water is a scarce resource, chooses to, showcase it as a resource that is essential for life and so essential to the survival of their community, of their tribe. It's true for all of us as well. Nina, of course, with her brilliant, colorful illustrations, in this Pitora style of art. This, book is an absolute visual treat. It did come out of a workshop where Nina and, Sher Singh Beel worked together. This one, published by Tulika, meant for 5+-year-olds, is priced at 190 rupees. The other book by Nina that we absolutely love is My Gandhi Story, which is, as you know, such a wonderful collage of things, of remembrances of Gandhi, of what we associated, growing up and reading about Gandhi. Because like she said in an interview, everyone has their own story of Gandhi. And in this book, along with Varli artist Rajesh Chaitya Vangad and the late and wonderful storyteller Ankit Chadha, Nina Sabnani collaborates to, a very unique collaboration between an artist, a storyteller, and an animation filmmaker to tell the wonderful story of Gandhi. It is not, just a straightforward narrative of Gandhi's life, but really, like Nina said in an interview that we done with her, she tries to tell us, the collaborators try to show us what he was really like as a human being. As you can see, lovely Varli art that brings the life of Gandhi or Bapu alive for young readers and for older ones as well. So this is another book of Nina's that's a real favorite, looking at Gandhi's story from the eyes of 3 different people who have collaborated to tell his story to young readers. Again, this one's published by Tulika and meant for 5+-year-olds, priced at 250 rupees. In 2019, the BLBA moved to Hindi literature to turn the spotlight on Hindi literature. And it is so, with so much